Hi there! So I've literally done nothing for a month already in my summer, and I'm probably not going to do anything for the remaining 2. So I thought, why not make this video to help some people get into college, because I got into college this year and maybe I should tell you about my very tedious and stressful journey. And mainly I'm going to be focusing on the Common App and the UC app, because those are the 2 that I applied to this year. And I'm not very familiar with like the other systems like UCAS, Canada. If you're looking for help on that, I'm sorry, I cannot help you. And also, quick disclaimer, I am not a college counselor, so everything I said is from my experience this year and what I've learned this year. If you want like really professional advice, go communicate with your college counselor. They are great resources. Please don't use this video as like the sole thing to get into college, because just don't. And ever since I posted my college decision video opening, a lot of people have been asking, what's your stats, what's your stats, what's your stats? And I'm just gonna tell you that this video will not be about my stats, but it will be about like the role of stats in general in college applications. The reason why I don't want to talk about my stats is because my stats, my extracurriculars, my essays are pretty personal, and I would prefer not to share that. And also because I've literally had people who I don't know come up to me and the first thing they say is, what's your stats? And I don't think that's the right way to approach this process, because first of all, you should always say hi first, and second, because there's so much more to your stat number, and I feel like if you focus strictly on stats and that number that people are giving out, it makes the process a lot more rigid than it is. But with that being said, the stats are important in the college application process in that it helps you determine what kind of schools you should apply to. And also, I've heard that it's kind of like the first impression for college admissions officers who read your app. I think they might read that first, or they might see that first, but there's a lot of leeway there. They read your whole app through regardless, so it's just the first impression. I don't know how much that counts. So I'm saying that it helps you determine what kind of school you might want to apply to. Say if you have a 1.0 GPA and you did nothing throughout high school, Harvard probably might not be a really good choice for you, and you might want to consider other options because you probably have a pretty low chance of getting in. Using your stats, you can see what range of schools you might want to apply to. For admissions officers, your GPA and your stats is like an indication of how well you would do academically. If you're applying to like a rigorous school, but your GPA is pretty low, admissions officers might see that as an indication of maybe you would not fit very well academically in that school, and therefore they might not admit you because of that. Ultimately, you're trying to find the best fit between the school and you. Using your range, you can determine what school might be your best fit. And it also doesn't count against you if your school only offers like 2 APs and you took both of them, when you're like competing against people from schools that offer 20 APs and took 10, because that's all based on school, and college admissions officers know that. And usually it's the school that communicates to the college about these like special requirements. Next, about extracurriculars, I would say have like a main focus, but also have a bunch of other activities that you're interested in. And for me, I'm a STEM person, so I did a bunch of like science stuff, but then I also did music, I did service, I did leadership. Main purpose of like having a main focus is just so you have like an easier narrative when you write your essays. You can tie it all back to like one thing, and it's easier to focus on one thing to achieve a lot in, rather than achieving a lot in everything, because you're kind of scattered that way. But it's also important to do a lot of other stuff with it, because it shows that you're an interesting person and you're passionate about learning. It's okay if you don't achieve a lot in your other activities, because it just shows that you're like proactive and eager to try new things. It's better if you do like the same thing for 4 years in a row, because it shows continuity and like genuine interest in whatever you're doing. And it's even better if like say you're in a club and you start off as a member, but then you build your way up to the president, because it shows growth as a student. And generally upward trends are pretty good, especially like in your GPA as well. So don't worry if you're a freshman, your GPA is pretty low, as long as you build it up, because that shows that even with harder coursework, you're still doing better. And that's what they look for. They look for growth. If you want to look at some of my classes and some of my extracurricular activities, you can look at my vlog from my last day of school, which is on my channel somewhere. That gives you an idea of some of the stuff I did, but it's not that complete. I would say in general, just do the best you can in terms of like schoolwork, and also participate in as many opportunities as possible. Be proactive, but also don't kill yourself over it, because I know that college apps is very, very competitive, and there's a lot of people nowadays who like package themselves and do literally everything that is humanly possible, like 100 extracurriculars. And while that may look good on a resume, college readers are human, and they understand that it's impossible for you to achieve something in everything. And so it might be better for you to achieve like a lot in 1 or 2 rather than just be like participants in 800 clubs or something. Colleges like to see that you're doing stuff outside of school, but they also like a person who can have fun, because college is not just about academics, it's about like having a social life, and they like people who can liven up their campus. And in fact, like a lot of colleges, you can tell from their prompts, they are actually looking for people who are collaborative rather than like cutthroat competitive, because they understand like how unhealthy competition might be. So they want to have people who can work with each other and have like a harmonious relationship. Know that the process is a lot more forgiving than you might think it is, because schools admit a wide range of people, and so there's not like a set like criteria you have to fill, and there's no like formula to this. Do your best, you don't slack, because naturally with that you would get your best stats without focusing on like a specific number. After that, use your stats in your extracurriculars to find like the schools that you want to apply to, visit those schools, and then determine like a final list and apply to them. At this point, I think that there are enough stats videos out there and like school information to like give you an idea of what it takes to get into whatever school you want to get into, how selective they are, and what type of people get in. So it's really your judgment call now. I was going to include like tips about essays and stuff in this video, but then I realized that it's already at like 10 minutes, so I didn't want to make it like a 20-minute video. So you should expect like an essay specific video like next week. If you have any questions about like the college application process, leave it in the comments below. If I don't reply to you by like replying to a comment, I might make a separate video depending on the amount of comments I get, replying to your questions and seeing if I can help you out. And so leave a like, subscribe if this video helped you. Stay tuned for the essay video as well as for my other summer videos, because I'm going traveling soon, and I'm also going around my city to explore. Don't stress too much about college apps. Actually stress a little bit about college apps, because I mean, it is a very stressful time. I get it, dude. Just be yourself, because that's what colleges look for anyways. Be prepared, talk to like a lot of people, talk to your college counselors, and good luck.